biggest treasures Britain stole from your country. I live currently in Germany, so I call it my country, even though I haven't been living here for like even 5 years. But let's see what they stole from Germany.
These are the top 6 biggest artifacts that Britain stole from your country.
Practice says English people, please, can get another half for this statue.
I think I found his statue.
Because Britain, once the world's most powerful empire, built huge museums filled with stolen objects from all over the world. Let's see if your country makes it to the list. Because Britain's small nation managed to steal from a country over 20 times bigger than them. Number 1, they took very important pieces from India's culture, like these Amaravati marbles that show scenes from the life of Buddha. 120 sculptures were removed from this sacred shrine, and then, of course, the controversial Kohinoor diamond. Number 2. Now, imagine not knowing anything about your past. That's exactly what happened to some generations in Nigeria. They have never seen one single piece of their old kingdom because it was burned to the ground by the British. Then, they took all their kingdom's bronzes, including commemorative heads.
Oh, they have to give that back, bro.
Animal and human figures and personal ornaments which were very important to the Nigerians.
These artifacts belong to us, it belongs to Nigeria, and therefore it should be returned.
Yeah, they should
Number
return that.
3. But let's go to the very first thing you see when you enter the museum. It's the most important stone for the country of
I honestly, all the time, I was thinking about this idea of museums in the world, and I do understand that they keep sharing, for example, art and stuff, but to be honest, isn't it the best if you visit a country to visit the museum of that country and see the artifacts of that country in that museum? Like, would you visit in Egypt a museum that is about, let's say, the British, I don't know, Victorian age or kingdom or whatever, and learn more about the kings and whatnot in Egypt? No, who cares? Like, if you're in Egypt, you want to see pharaohs, you want to see the pyramid and stuff about that. And that's how I feel like it should be around the world. The museums should belong to the actual country that you are visiting. And it adds significantly more value to you as a visitor, as a tourist, to go to that place and visit that and see those artifacts only exclusively in the museums of those countries. At least that's my opinion.
Egypt. The Rosetta Stone.
Okay, some people can't travel. That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. It's sad that they will never see these type of things if they are enthusiasts and they love it.
It's a icon of our Egyptian identity, and I think its home should be the Grand Museum.
This 2,000-year-old stone helped scholars decode the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic texts. It's massively important. And it wasn't the only historical artifact they stole from Egypt.
It still feels wrong if they are taking artifacts that are very important. Like, I would understand them taking something like a papyrus that has so many different ones, and like they take one that is not that significant, and or they are gifted by the country, like the country gifts them those artifacts that they know that they don't need it because they have so many similar ones that they are not the most important. But if they are asking, if the country is asking for these artifacts to be returned, like, they should return them.
100,000 pieces. They took mummies, statues, and this very important gigantic head of an Egyptian pharaoh. Back then, they would have probably shipped the pyramids if they could. Number 4. In Chile, when the British made it to Easter Island, they stole this piece called
Keep in mind, this is
Hakanana.
all of this is because of colonization. Like, the reason they have all of these things in Britain is because of colonization. So now it's a different age, it's a different time, and if they are asking for these things back, they should get it.
Also known as Moai. It's believed to be descended directly from gods with superpowers that can benefit humanity.
You have had this 150-year, the most spiritual, sweet, and powerful object that you just can't imagine that this how important it is for us.
Till this day, Easter Islanders have been trying to get their culture back from the British Museum with no success. From a symbol of religion to a symbol of democracy. Did you know
Terrible.
that the British government also spent money to buy artifacts illegally? Number 5. What you see here are
illegal?
the Parthenon marbles, the very symbol of the democracy of Greece. They bought it from a British man who literally stripped this marble down from the ancient Acropolis in Athens back in the 19th century. They bought a stolen piece of history. And then we have number 6. The British didn't even spare the oldest library in the world. See, over 2,000 years ago, the Ashurbanipal library came to life in ancient Iraq. It tells the story of the
I wonder how they came up with artifacts from Iraq.
Assyrians, people who once lived in some parts of Iraq, Iran, Turkey, and Syria. An
These are my
incredibly
ancestors!
important piece of history. From super valuable stones and statues to the world's oldest library and even to an entire kingdom. I can't help but ask, should the British Museum keep all these important historical pieces?
No.
Because
No.
from truly astonishing, now these objects mostly display a dark side of history. Years of exploitation, colonization, wars, and distraction. Nightfam, can we claim ownership of something that has never been truly ours in the first place? I leave you on that question today, hoping that we never have to relive that horrible part of global history.
Well. Just dealt with something in the chat. In my opinion, as I said, like, I don't think that they should have any of these artifacts unless a country decides to give them something that is not of the greatest significance, but it's also representing their history for the people who cannot travel. But in my opinion, it would be the best if each country has their own museums and their own culture, so that would make traveling even more fun. Because you can only see that there and it's authentic and it belongs there. You can feel that it belongs there. When I went to Egypt and I visited the Pharaoh Museum and I saw the mummy for the first time in my life, it had such big impact and significance. And I know that I can only see it there. If I had it here in Germany where I can see a mummy and I can see the Pharaoh, then it wouldn't be really important for me to go and see it again in Egypt, you know? I can just do it here. And that's the thing with the museums. And it's all around the world. I don't think it's only Britain. The problem with the British one is that it's from colonization and it was at a dark period of time. And a lot of countries are asking for those artifacts back. And I think they should get it back. But also a lot of those countries are still in turmoil and trouble. And they know if they give back these artifacts, these countries can get in war and all of this can be destroyed. And I feel like it's safer to have these in Britain. So it's always a question. Like, I really don't know what to do. But this is my opinion. Let me know yours.